welcome. Similar to uh, the Magic, uh, our seasons are on the line right now.
Hmm.
Magic down, what is it, down six, about 5 minutes left. It's playing time, baby. And we had some good games last night.
Yes.
And there's still news coming out. I don't know, are you caught up with the Hornets LaMelo situation?
No. No, enlighten me here.
So you didn't see it at all last night. So balls, LaMelo's on the ground. Bam catches a rebound. As LaMelo's on the ground, he puts his arm on Bam and like sweeps his leg out while he's jumping for a rebound. Bam falls, hurts his back, out for the game. No foul called on LaMelo, and because it wasn't because they ball stayed in bounds and then the play continued, they couldn't go back and review it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Eric Spoelstra came out. People came out there like, how do you not give him not even a fine? Don't want to call flagrant, not even a foul.
Yeah, nothing.
Like it's clear as day. He puts his arm on his like the back of his Achilles or his ankle, pulls it so that Bam falls down. So he bams out. LaMelo then ends up scoring the winning bucket. They win the game last night, of course, as fate has it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just went live. NBA finding LaMelo Ball 35,000 for trip of Bam Adebayo, upgrading action to a flagrant two, but no suspension.
And that, I mean, I'm seeing here now, that completely changes the game.
100%.
Puts Miami winning that game, you know?
I would, yeah. I mean, okay, it's so hard to revisionist history, but yeah, probably. Especially if Lamelo is like kicked out of the game, right?
Right.
Or whatever.
If it's a
Something like that
flagrant
is
two at the time, you
yeah.
get, I'm pretty sure, the two free throws and ball,
Hmm.
and Adebayo doesn't fall. Well, okay, no,
Right.
he fell
He would
because of the
let's assume
flagrant,
he's
so
still out of the game.
he
Yeah.
would still be out of the game, but you get the two free throws and ball. And to lose by one,
No, it's tough. It's tough. I feel bad for Miami, but also like no. I hate to like bring it back to New York, but the same thing that happened to Mitchell Robinson when it was Joel Embiid when we played them 2 years ago.
mm-hmm.
And Mitchell Robinson missed the whole playoffs and the first half of last season recovering from he basically like pulled down his thigh or his knee or something as he was coming down and done. Because when you're that big,
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, you can put on muscle, but like one wrong move or one, that's a lot of body to throw
Yes,
around.
indeed.
And I just remember that, and I remember it was like, oh yeah, well Joel Embiid, he like didn't mean to do it. I'm like, okay.
Sure.
And that was Lamelo, same thing. He's like, well, I knew I was on the ground, but I didn't really know where I was, and I just hope he's okay. I did like, we get it. Like you're a competitor, but when it crosses a line to have to injure your opposition,
Yeah.
that's tough for me to back up
Yeah, I definitely can't stand behind that sort of behavior
or
at
own
any
it,
level. Yeah.
or just yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take it back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're gonna badmouth you anyways. You might as well say, you know what, guys, you got me.
Yeah.
How'd you know? But yeah, that was last night, and then Suns lost to Portland on a last second bucket. It was a late game, which, lest we forget, Portland's coach was, I don't know, arrested after game one this year.
Did forget about that.
That's what I mean. Like, this is now a playoff team.
Yeah. Hmm.
Blows my mind. And it's one of those things like Knicks fired their coach after making the NBA Finals or NBA Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Denver fired their coach going into last year's playoffs.
Yeah.
The Pistons, what, lost 27 games in a row 2 years ago?
And are now number one.
Now the number one seed.
Yep.
And then who? And then San Antonio. San Antonio did make the playoffs last year. Like all of, I don't know. I think there's so many cool storylines around each of these teams. I would rather focus on that than like the tanking, which I know has dominated a lot of the news. But awesome. Do we expect Oklahoma City? Probably. But I
Yeah,
think there's a better chance this year than last year that somebody upsets them.
I do think so, and I think, I mean, SJ's a free throw merchant, so he's gonna be doing that. If the team can figure out a way around that, I mean, then I could see them getting upset, and possibly not making the Western Conference Finals.
I mean, they're all healthy, and of course, injuries during the playoffs can change everything.
Flip the script entirely.
And as a as a fan of a team that's in the playoffs, and I know your Warriors play later tonight, but as a fan of a team that's in the playoffs, part of me I'm so happy that we beat Boston while Tatum was healthy because you always have that fear of like an asterisk, like, oh well, our best player was out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, the Warriors lost the finals, but KD was hurt or whatever. Like no, give your best versus our best, and let's actually see. And that's what that's what I want, right? I'm again athlete competitor, but I always wanted to play the best. Now, yes, would it be nice? Let's say the Knicks play the Pistons, and God forbid somebody gets hurt, and the Knicks cakewalk into the finals. Like, yeah, it's really cool, but are we going to feel like it was deserved? Or are we going to feel like next year, oh, we can do it again?
No, it definitely puts, like you said, that asterisk on it. Like, yeah, sure, you won, but right, we beat the number one team that led the East the whole time, but they didn't have a player in there. So who knows what that would have turned into had they been there.
Right. And like, I have almost like Boston. Boston, Tatum goes down with his Achilles, and they traded away half their starting roster and finishes the 2 seed in the East. Like, it's fantastic. Lakers lost two of their guys, and I guess now Reeves and Luca are not coming back anytime soon. JJ Redick said they're out indefinitely.
Yeah, so that was one of my teams I thought could possibly compete with OKC at full health, full strength. And now I not that it makes OKC's run any easier. We'll see how all these play-ins and stuff wind down. But now I think it's more certain that that team's getting in again, barring injury and anything crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and Lakers. Oh, we'll go matchup by matchup, but
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to see that there are like multiple storylines of not just guys are out hurt. It's like no, that so many of these teams overcame something to get there. Charlotte winning, controversy aside, and having a chance. Again, they're not in. They'll have to beat the loser of this game, which is a 5-point game right now. But Charlotte having any chance to make it into the playoffs and have a little bit of competence, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Legitimately, in our lifetime, we've probably seen what, two, maybe three good Charlotte seasons,
Maybe.
maybe. That is just it's like the Browns. That's just a team that just they never get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now to see like Khan's doing great, Lamelo's doing great. They have guys who can play, and I think could be like future All Stars and league leaders. And I think that's a cool story. Uh, I guess we might as well dive in with the NBA stuff. As we said, we are in the thick of the play-in right now. Warriors play tonight against the Clippers, which should be a interesting matchup. But that's just the 9-10 game. That's just to get in to the game. I want to go matchup by matchup here. Again, like we said, there's so many cool storylines for each team, but really the thing for me is who's going to win. Right, that's the most important thing. Let's start. You want to go East or West first?
Let's go West. I
Okay,
feel like
so
we did
West.
East last time.
That's fair. Let's start with your. Let's start with your Thunder. Uh, if we're projecting, it's going to be either the Clippers, Warriors, or the Suns.
Trailblazers.
No, Trailblazers won, so
Yeah,
they'll
loser.
be in the
Loser.
7
Yeah,
spot.
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Might be.
So who you got there?
I mean, you know who I want to pick. Obviously, I want to sit here and
Hey,
say, hey,
take him then.
they got it. Is Steph playing tonight?
Well, I sure hope so. If he's not, then you got bigger issues.
You would hope so. I'll look at that. I'll pick him for now. I'll take a look, see if he's playing or not. But I don't think it matters who um, plays the Suns.
Okay, as in the Suns will lose, or both, or the Suns will beat either one of those teams.
I think the Suns will probably beat either one of those teams. I said Warriors last time, but we're gonna switch the script here.
So you're
And
going
then
Portland is the 7th seed, and then Phoenix is the 8th seed.
Phoenix is the 8.
Okay, so then Thunder Suns.
Thunder.
In what? Let's go. How many games here?
5.
Okay. Spurs Trailblazers.
We'll go Spurs in 6.
Okay. Nuggets Wolves.
Nuggets, probably 7.
I think it's gonna be great. That might be my favorite first round matchup.
Yes.
And then Lakers Rockets.
Rockets in 6.
Okay. And then it would go Thunder Rockets.
Thunder, 6.
And then Spurs Nuggets. Another great matchup.
Yeah. I want to make this one another 7, but yeah, Spurs in 7.
Okay, and then Spurs Thunder.
Spurs in 7.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a good coin flip there. All right, so you got Spurs coming out of the West. You got your East. Let's go. Philly's up by 6 with a minute left. All right, so let's say Philly. So let's go Boston versus. It'll either be Charlotte or Orlando versus Detroit.
I think I'm not going to give Charlotte. There's got to be some bad karma coming for that, right? Right?
Charlotte 16-0, win their
So
first title.
yeah, we'll go Orlando at the 8.
So then Orlando versus
Detroit. Uh, 6.
Celtics 76ers.
Celtics 6.
Knicks Hawks.
We'll pull for you a little bit here. Knicks in 5.
Ooh, well, I'll take 5 because I think it's going to go closer than that. I think it'll be tighter. Cavs Raptors.
Cavs. We'll make it a 7.
And then Pistons Cavs.
Pistons in 6.
Celtics Knicks. You took Boston last time. I mean, I get it.
I'm gonna say this with the caveat of going. I'm gonna dial it in a little bit more after seeing these first round games of the playoffs. See how the team's playing, how it's looking, because it's playoff atmosphere. It is different. It's a different intensity.
Sure.
It's a different speed. I'm gonna keep Celtics 7 though.
And then Celtics Pistons.
Celtics. Can they do it in 6?
And then Celtics Spurs.
That's a good one. Man, I want Wemby to get it, and I want Tatum to come back after an injury and get it too. Celtics in
win-win.
7.
I think I'm probably close to you. I think the only thing I have to pull Knicks over Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
I contractually obligated. And then I also have to go Knicks over Pistons, just because we beat them last year. And I
Okay.
do think there's some of that bad karma there, especially them coming to the Garden. I could be totally wrong and get swept in four. We could lose to the Hawks. I don't know. We're such an up and down team. On the West, I agree with everything except I think I'm taking Timberwolves over the Nuggets.
Okay. I would. I mean,
Also in
I
also
wouldn't
in
mind that.
seven though,
Okay.
and I actually think I think there's a chance that either I think Charlotte beats Orlando for the eight seed.
Okay.
I think there's a shot that either I'm going to call it here, either Portland or Charlotte, if assuming Charlotte gets in, they're going to push these one and two seeds to like a six-game series. Like I
Okay.
think there's going to be like a little scare, and that's going to be like, oh, Charlotte blew out the Pistons.
Mm-hmm. At
Uh,
home, game one.
yeah, right. So something like that. I don't. Could they win a seven-game series? Probably not. But could they steal one or two? Absolutely. I think that was reading something like similar to baseball this year. I'm enjoying the parody of how close it feels. Like there were times that the Thunder looked untouchable, and then there were times that they were getting not only beat by the Spurs but beat by some of these other teams too.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Detroit, right? Detroit looked fantastic for three-quarters of the season, and then kind of stumbled in, especially when Kate got hurt, and right before that too. So I'm not gonna say it's up for anybody, but I do think there's a probably five or six teams that would consider themselves have a
Have a
legit shot.
have a legitimate shot at it.
Um, and Philly did win. So we have Orlando hosting Charlotte. That is a Friday 7:30 game. Yeah, so we'll see. Okay, that is my NBA news. The only thing that I also thought was interesting, um, Luca, who played 64 games. I know we've talked about 65 games a couple weeks in a row now. Luca played 64. Is actually filing for that to be appealed, that he was ineligible, and he's saying that including the injuries, he also missed two games for the birth of his kid.
Yeah, I heard some. I think it was Pat McAfee show was talking about it. It's like I can't get a day off to go watch my child be born. Like that's you know it's kind of bogus, honestly.
I agree, and I think that they're I think they're going to end up scrapping the 65 game thing anyways. But there has to be I think, a work life balance. Now, I'm not saying you're going to miss a playoff game or whatever. I get it, but also like there may be people who choose that. So I wouldn't penalize him for the 65 game thing. He had an agreement with his team. Hey, I'm stepping away for two games to go and like take care of my family. Totally fine. Now, the only thing I'll say is, do you remember? Did you ever read the story about the old Vikings GM that just got fired? And by just, I mean as soon as the season ended. I think it was like January, February.
I did not.
So he was like meteoric rise, younger guy, like late 30s, early 40s, got the job, and I think he was in the job for a couple of years, but basically his reputation tanked within other like other execs, not necessarily the Vikings, but other GMs and other team presidents kind of like soured on him a little bit because he wouldn't go to like off-season workouts. So you're a general manager, you don't have to. Like, he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
He would often like work from home, so he could be home with his family, like still be on his computer or be on call,
Mm-hmm.
and like he would take time away from football to be with his family. And again, the Vikings had no problem with this. But then as soon as he would go to like other general manager meetings or other teams would talk about it, it like made the Vikings say, "Oh, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe this isn't so good that he's doing all this." And I just remember the vitriol from the, oh well, it's football and yeah, that has to come first and blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, this guy works 12 months out of the year. Like with the NFL, you do not get an off season,
Mm-hmm.
especially not as a GM.
Right.
Right? You go from as soon as your season finishes into planning mode for the draft. As soon as draft finishes, then you're planning into the season. And so I understand him taking a little bit of time. Hey, I'm going to work from home today. I'm not going to come into the office. It's already been agreed to with my boss.
Right.
So I don't know. There has to be something that you give back a little bit.
I agree. And going back to our point where how we got here, if they scrap the 65 game thing, it's harder to get MVP like type numbers with less games anyway. So if you can do MVP numbers with less games, that should be totally fine. If you're still leading the league in not necessarily points per game, but points, for example, and you're 20 games off of the next person or have played 20 less games, but you're still leading the league in points, like that just goes to show even more so that you are the MVP.
I always find it super interesting that they look at like, well, how did your team perform without you? Because that's the
They're like,
value, right? That's the
yeah,
most valuable I
your
mean,
plus minus.
well, the team was undefeated when you didn't play, so did they really need you? And if you're going off of that, like I think it tightens it even more between Shea and Luka. Like the Lakers look like garbage without him.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like maybe he is the MVP. I don't know. Like would the Thunder still be this good without Shea? Maybe that's a stacked team. I don't
Yeah.
know. But we'll have to see that. We'll know. We'll know soon. I think votes as soon as this appeal process goes through, then the media will vote, and then they'll know. And then they always do that like award show right around the playoffs or right around the finals. Sure, we got 2 months on it. That is my NBA stuff. You want to talk some football or some football?
Let's go football.
So just two quick things for the World Cup. Again, we've talked about it before a lot, but we're kind of getting to that time where it's gonna start pissing me off once a week. Issue with the World Cup. First one is unrelated to the World Cup. This is more just on U.S. men's soccer. Matt Crocker, who was the uh, U.S. soccer essentially like general manager, right? Operations for U.S. soccer. Got the job 2023, so he's been in it almost 3 years. Announced yesterday that he's leaving. He's accepting a job for Saudi Arabian soccer to do the same role essentially. And people came out, and he's a British guy, but I don't know. I have an issue with like you took this job in preparation for the World Cup, and then of course he was saying like, oh well, he really has nothing to do with the World Cup. He's not, he doesn't coach. He's not on the field. I get it. He's an executive behind the scenes. But what an awful look to get the team to essentially 2 months, or about 60 days or so away from the World Cup, and they'd be like, "Peace, I'm leaving for another job like today."
That's also in the World Cup.
That's also correct.
Yeah.
And it makes me think that I mean I know it's all down to money. I know that. Like Live Golf, like if you had a dump truck backed up to your door with buckets of cash, and they're like, "Hey, come accept the job." Do you think that you're gonna start to see like I don't know non-competes or something so that you can't just jump ship? And this will tie in another point that I have later, but it blows my mind that that's even possible. Instead of like seeing out your contract,
Yeah, and it is very sus timing. It's given Kiffin.
big time.
Yeah. Um, what do you mean by no competes?
No, okay, so if I sign you for a 3-year deal,
Mm-hmm.
then either you're fired during your 3-year deal, in which case I got to pay you out your money anyways,
Mm-hmm.
or you have to wait until the end of that 3-year deal to go and take a job somewhere else,
Somewhere
doing
else.
the same role.
Ooh. Still get paid for it?
What do you mean?
Like finish the 3 years?
Yeah. You finish the
Yeah.
3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of your deal, sure. And it's like a free agent, right? If you play for the Warriors and you want to get traded, you can't just say Warriors come buy me out of my contract. You got to trade for you. I need something in return. And what we're seeing is with the Saudis and their sport washing is basically like they'll just throw $1 billion and be like, no, come over here. Hey, Ronaldo, come play in our league. Stuff like that. And the what I wanted to tie that into is the NCAA men's basketball portal just opened up. Have you seen this?
No.
So it went live midnight. I want to say it was 2 days ago. They had over 1,000 players hit the portal at midnight.
Crash the website.
And coaches are like, what are we supposed to do? Dramatically changes how you recruit, dramatically changes how you build your roster. Because if you have all those players that are now essentially, I'm going to use the word free agents, that you're now having to recruit all of them every year.
Yeah.
Brings me to my next point. Should you be able to tie that NIL money to 2-year deals instead of a 1-year contract?
I don't see why not. You know, if you're getting a specific amount of NIL money for going to Tennessee or going to UCLA or what have you, you should be able to get locked down for more than 1 year. Or you shouldn't be throwing around that much NIL money for 1 year deals.
Which I also think that's going to change.
Yes.
Naturally, I think that number is going to come down because schools are like, I'm throwing you a bag and then you're leaving right away. Like you're going to play with us for 20 games and then you're gone. And yeah, I think in the back of our heads, we probably all knew that it was headed in this direction when you open a portal and NIL and schools having to pay for players. Which, again, don't get me wrong, I am all in favor of player empowerment. Give them the opportunities, give them the cash to go and do it. Such a small fraction of those players ever make it professionally that for them to be able to capitalize on their skills, I'm all for it. However, there has to be a balance. If, to your point, you go and sign for University of Tennessee and they want to pay you $3 million, I think it should be, hey, like you can make $2 million for 1 year, or I'll bump it. You can make $6 million for 2 years, but you're not leaving after that first year. I need you for 2 seasons, because again, if I'm thinking as a GM, let me at least know who half of my roster will be next year, so I can kind of build for a 2-year cycle.
I know who I have to recruit, like
exactly
who I have, what gaps I need to fill in, etc.
And then the quotes that were accompanied with the post were from Calipari and Pitino, and it was like, this is why coaches aren't even going after high schoolers anymore. Like, why take an 18-year-old freshman when I can just focus on a senior 22-year-old? If everyone's only staying for 1 year, it doesn't matter. And I don't know. Like I say, that there's a big swing coming the other direction.
Hopefully so.
Anyways,
for the sake of our sports.
It's a big enough deal that they'll figure it out. You watch the Warriors right now? Good. It's for the best. I have it on now. 12-5, Clippers are up.
Lovely.
But Steph is playing. Okay, on to the soccer stuff. So, as I said, World Cup kind of in shambles here. 2 details that came out this week. Number one, and they're both location based. Number one is going to be in Boston. So here's the information that kind of, I'm going to say, got leaked because it definitely wasn't shared publicly. But the train ticket to go from Boston to Gillette, because again, Gillette Stadium isn't in like Boston proper; it's in Foxborough. Normally about $20 under like special event pricing. That's the ticket you're getting. That is now being hiked up to $80 for the World Cup. Okay.
And then
Now
now,
again,
if you're just getting around town during that time,
what's going to be crazy?
right?
Guess who's going to be in Boston? This guy. Yeah, we're up there for a high school graduation. So we'll be in the Northeast, but I'm sure it'll be crazy busy up there. But then that came out. I don't know. Oh, it was last month that came out. And so then second story popped yesterday for New Jersey for MetLife, which is again the finals going to be there. They're hosting 8 matches. Normally, it's $12.90 to be able to go from to take the transit line to get to MetLife
Mm-hmm.
from Pennsylvania Station. Now it's going to be over $100 for a ticket.
It's just sad.
That's awful, and it's like you're letting people know now. People have already booked flights, spent money on tickets, bought hotels, done whatever, and now you're telling them, "Hey, I know that you budgeted for $30 for your family to be able to take the train over because
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to drive."
Quadruple it.
And 100%, it's the worst. And then the last detail is they are also claiming that there was a little bait and switch with some of the tickets that people bought for games because if you bought a category one, which is like the most expensive, hot closest to the game,
Mm-hmm.
people are saying that like you bought the category, but you didn't buy your individual seats. So if I paid $5,000 for a category one ticket, it could be anywhere in the lower bowl, right? That's what was highlighted. And now it's coming out that like
That's just you're qualified to purchase seats in that zone.
no, it
No.
does
Oh, okay.
it gets you a ticket there,
Okay.
but it's turning out that like nobody so far actually has tickets to like the 50-yard line, for an example. Those haven't been sold yet. So fans are like, I I spent all this money
Mm-hmm.
with you telling me that this was a possibility for me to be able to stay in these seats, and those seats haven't even been sold yet. And they're like, no, it's category one. Yeah, those are the tickets. And people are like, well, if I knew that those weren't going to be a possibility, like I wouldn't have bought that category. I would
Right.
have spent less.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fair. Like the frustrations are so fair, and it's continuing day by day, week by week to just be like the biggest farce in. I'm gonna say it's bigger than soccer. I think it's in sport, but when it's all said and done, and the amount of like lawsuits, uh, people asking for refunds, it's gonna be crazy. And I think FIFA's supposed to make something like a couple $1 billion off of this event
Mm-hmm.
this summer. So it's a bummer. It sucks.
Being exploited for our love of the sport.
It's what we do. It's what we put up with because we love our games.
Yeah.
Um, well, we alluded to it a little bit before we got on, but the NFL draft is next Thursday, the 23rd. So we wanted to kind of talk a little bit about what this first round could look like. Now, again, even today, I was reading it. There's another ESPN article today telling me that somebody else could go too for the Jets, and I'm like, until whoever is going to make our, hopefully it's our GM, whoever's making our draft decision, I hope he's just like locked himself in a room, not overthinking it, just go with your gut.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you sent me the Ty Simpson video.
Had to. Had to.
Yes, him bamboozling John Gruden and be like, "Oh yeah, meant to fall down." And then you know what? Maybe he did. Maybe he did. But it just doesn't look good. Don't let that be your viral clip of talking to John Gruden. I want to be the quarterback this time. Like, wow, you read that defense so well, and you picked the right pass. Oh no, yeah, I pulled the trick play where I tripped over my shoelace. But let's go. I don't know. I'm gonna say top 10 picks because I think that's probably the best starting spot.
Yes.
How do you want to do it here? I have the latest mock up from the Athletic just to kind of see the teams If you're the Raiders, are you just defaulting to Mendoza?
I think so. I think you got Genty last year. Now, get you quarterback. You've already got is it Bowers, right? Powers. That's at least starting
You kept Crosby,
yep,
Max
for a
Crosby.
7v7 team. That's looking pretty good right now. You can work with that for a season and hopefully not be last in the league this year. Like we said, a lot of these teams, their bar's probably kind of low. If they were winless, not winless, but negative on the season, below 500. Try to get to 500, and I think with adding Mendoza, a couple extra pieces, maybe help with the defense a little bit, O line, they stand a good shot at upsetting a few teams. If this kid's really got it.
If you're the Raiders, are you even picking up the phone for teams to entertain trades?
No, I'm silencing it.
Again, you're the GM. You are locking yourself in
Mm-hmm.
your basement. You're saying, turn my phone off until this
Silence,
draft day.
block, 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 block.
Would you trade the number one pick for Daniel Jones? Would you trade the number one pick for Sam Darnold? Would you trade the number one pick for Lamar Jackson?
Mm-mm.
Joe Burrow?
No,
Josh Allen?
no. These guys all look good on good teams. I do not have a good team.
Okay. And rookie's gonna be cheap. Right? So
Exactly.
you're not blowing capital
Yep.
on.
Yep.
That's fair. Okay. I don't know. Some of those I might have been picking up the phone too though.
Nope.
I would say, oh, that says Buffalo Bills. Oh, let me unsilence that real quick.
Nah. Nah, and I'm not saying those guys are only good because they're on good teams. I just think if you put them in a Jets uniform or a Raiders uniform
You had to start there.
or a Cardinals uniform, it just looks a little bit different.
Doesn't fit the same. It's a little loose.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
No
Or a little
offense,
too tight.
no offense, but
Oh, that's all good.
it helps the
I'm with you
quarterback
there.
when your defense gets interceptions. That's all I'm saying.
You know, I had a kid come into me yesterday. Comes into my office and he goes, "Hey, coach, I got a joke for you." And it's all my like athletes, like they love football. And I was like, "All right, what you got?" He goes, "Rory McIlroy has more green jackets than the Jets had interceptions this year." And I looked at him, just deadpan. I was like, "Get out, get out of my office."
Get out.
And of course, he's cracking up. The other kids are cracking up. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's so funny," because I have like pennants hung up with like all the teams of my office, and
Uh-huh.
uh, that was rough. And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. That is true." Um, Speaking of the two pick in the draft, I've read it back and forth between Arvell Reese, David Bailey. I was talking to somebody today. I think that Bailey has the production, like the numbers, to be able to look at. Reese has a higher ceiling, in my opinion. I think either one is a win. I really do. I don't think there's one over the other.
Mm-hmm.
My only issue is the Jets have done it. I'm going to say decent job drafting in the last couple of years. Decent, at least. They've turned some of these good prospects into decent NFL players. Right? We had Depoy, we had Sauce, we had the O'Roy as well with Garrett Wilson. So if you're drafting a project or somebody you think has a higher ceiling, then you're responsible for that. Like you have to make sure you can fulfill that player's potential.
Yeah.
You know, a second year coach with his staff, and if he has confidence to be able to say, "Hey, let's bring in Arvell Reese. I will turn him into the monster that we need on this team," take it. If you're saying, "I don't know if I trust our development team, let's just take the guy that looked good in college,"
Hmm.
then I think David Bailey's probably what they'll do. But again, either one of them look good. I'm not going to be upset. The only thing that'll make me upset is if we call an audible and don't pick one of those two guys. I think that would be a genuine surprise, and I think would piss off a lot of people. I hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Do you have the same thing there?
Yeah, just about. I have one of these two going 2-3. Well,
Oh,
both of these two going 2-3.
okay. I think I think I think these two are going. They're gone before they get to five. I think there's a chance that the Cardinals go a different route, and if that's the case, the other one will go to Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
immediately.
Mm-hmm.
With a defensive coach like Robert Saleh, that's just going to be makes that'll just make sense for him. Okay, who do you have for three for Arizona?
Um, well, the other direction that they could go would be to take Jeremiah Love. Um,
Ah,
but
for Arizona, you're saying?
for Arizona, yeah. But I think they'll take whoever is no or whoever's still on the board out of
Of those
Bailey
two.
and Reese. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then, if we're going off of that, off of what you said, and we get to Tennessee, and both those guys are gone, I'm gonna go Love here.
Love slotting in with the rookie or
Second
second
year
year
QB.
quarterback Cam Ward. Both.
Last time Tennessee drafted a running back in the first round, or this high, I should say, was
It wasn't this far back, was it? Chris
I
Johnson.
might have I'm gonna have to double check the number. No,
Am I even getting that name right? I have his football card
I mean,
somewhere.
yeah, I mean Chris Johnson was
Okay.
CJ2K, but I don't. I might have to double check. Let's see here. Chris Johnson was first round in '08, but what number was he? That's what I wanted to check. That is who I was thinking of.
So I got it right.
It was number 24. Wow, that was a lot lower than I thought. But yeah, you are right. Well, anyways, I think they're going here. I think that you can kind of make a statement with you took Cam Ward one, you've hopefully locked up your QB. What better than being able to pair him as like a 1-2 punch than a really good college running back? Like
Yeah.
he looked great this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if he has any sort of success on a team that isn't good, the two of them are setting up that offense, hopefully for years to come. And you have such a defensive coach too that that's going to take a lot of the priority. So your offense is already going to be thrown to the side. On to the Giants. I think here we're probably looking at like a run of defensive players. The fact that Love is gone, the only other like offensive guy that I have is probably Carnell Tate out of Ohio State,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't think the Giants need another weapon on offense. I think they have enough of those. So I think I just a guess. I think they're going defense. Harbaugh kind of built himself on a very good to decent defense in Baltimore. So I'm probably going Caleb Downs is my guess. Safety Ohio State. Yeah. There's there's a shot for Ruben Bain Jr. And again I don't know if you saw the story, but there was he was involved in a fatal car accident in 2024. Did you see that yesterday or 2 days ago? And my issue is like, is that gonna affect his draft status? I don't know. it's weird timing.
Yeah, strange timing for this to resurface now.
Whoever was holding on to that story. Now, again, we're talking about the NFL here. Teams might raise him in their draft portfolio. I don't know,
Hmm.
but he's a good player. Right? You're talking about a guy that played a national championship game. I probably don't think he goes this high to 5. But that's yeah. I'm gonna stick with Downs for the Giants. Who do you have for 6? Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland here. Looking at one draft that has trading to the Cowboys,
Oh,
but there's another mock that's got them picking up Tate, who you were mentioning.
I mean, yeah. Again, their offense is always in need of more. It seems so that
Yeah,
doesn't surprise me.
one of the 12 quarterbacks has got to be able to throw to him, right?
If I'm Cleveland, if I don't make the trade, I'm probably taking. I'm gonna mess his name up, but Magoa, the tackle out of Miami.
Hmm.
Again, when I'm thinking Cleveland, do you think of how ferocious that defense is, but you never think about that offense? So if you can do a little bit to protect your quarterback, because they drafted 3 quarterbacks last year.
Talk about cultivating a monster. He'd have to go at least in skill position drills against Miles Garrett.
Absolutely. Now, again, that's what I'm going to do. If you just want to take a good defense for Cleveland and make them better, then sure, take another defensive guy. Then I'm taking Styles is available, Ruben Bain's available. Add another one of those guys if that's what you want to do.
Be ferocious.
Be unfair. That's that. Like again, Cleveland, you're scoring 6 points against them, but you're also getting 10 interceptions from their quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to lose every game 6-0. 7 for the Washington Commanders.
Um, let's see here. Well, so we've got Mendoza, Reese. I haven't put in Francis for Miami. David Bailey's gone. Tate,
Jeremiah Love's gone.
Love.
Downs is gone. You put Tate to 6, and now you're down to 7. No, we said Tate's still available.
Well, I said Tate for
The Cowboys, sorry.
the Browns.
Got it. So then, yeah, he's off the board.
One of these has the Bucks trading up to get Ruben Payne Jr.
Okay. Interesting.
Do the Commanders give that up? Do the Commanders just take Ruben Payne Jr.?
What is it? What
I
does it
think
have them trading? Does it say?
no, it just says mock trade from Commanders. Um,
Sure, give him Payne
no,
then.
I mean, yeah, no. We'll put Ruben Payne Jr. here. The Commanders' offense, I feel like, is fine, barring Jane Daniels' injuries last year. So, yeah.
Okay. On to the Saints. Yeah, this one has them taking Tate at 8. Talk about offense and trying to help out uh, Tyler Shuck. If that's the case, might be a stretch, but if you could go Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State,
Mm-hmm.
you can also go Makai Lemon out of USC, which I would say are the next 2 wide receivers coming off the board. You could also, I mean, I guess if you wanted to flip onto the line, I'd go Fano, which is the tackle out of Utah. but because their offense was atrocious. The issue is, I think they need a running back. And since Love is gone, I don't think they're getting a running back.
No.
They also might be a team that wants to trade out of that.
Trade up.
Pick up.
Trade up
Yeah.
and pick up Love.
Oh, I meant trade back and since you're like, hey, the guy's gone.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste a pick
Fair.
here. I gotta say waste. It's not a waste, but we're not going to get the position that we really need to fulfill. And I don't want to spend the capital to move up. Well, we said Love's going to go 4, 3.
3, 4, 5, maybe.
Yeah, so is it worth for them moving 8 to 5? I don't know. That's going to cost a lot. Especially if those other teams really like Love as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I would probably imagine them, again, if you're looking for somebody on offense, either pick up one of those wide receivers or get out of there, pick up a couple extra picks, and you can build more because that team was not good. Kansas City at 9.
Kansas City needs some more receivers. Kelsey's on the brink of leaving. And their offensive production last year was just kind of awful. So I have Tate gone. Next best is Tyson, sorry.
Yeah. Tyson, I would say Tyson or Lemon. You probably can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Either one of those two.
And then I should have taken them. Your Bengals at 10.
I feel like anytime I'm looking at something Bengals, we're losing another player, specifically on defense. So literally whatever is the next best option for defensive player here. I see Delane, cornerback at LSU, Downs, safety from Ohio State if he's not gone or off the board. Defense, because we've got the offense, probably the best offense in the league any given day.
Yeah, I would probably be in line to want to replace Hendrickson. So maybe you take somebody who's on that defensive line.
If we can sneak, if Payne Jr. happens to fall that low.
Honestly, if he falls to 10, that would be a
steal.
Steal for you guys.
Yep. But I don't think that's happening. Unless they could trade up for him, maybe. I don't know.
The issue with the trade up, which even though the movie Draft Day is such a silly movie at times, it does a great job of showing, like, I don't know, it's all the mind games. Is it worth me spending all the extra stuff to get to 4 if the guy I actually want isn't really even going to get taken until pick 7? Right? But you can't roll those dice every time. So to your point, if you're sitting at 10 and you want Bain, all of a sudden he's at pick 5, 6, 7, and he hasn't gone yet, and you're freaking out that he's going to fall to the Saints or to the Chiefs, you're like, okay, do I pull the trigger and just give up something to go get him? Because that is a I'm going to say like not a star necessarily right away, but that is a big name that you're bringing in. That's like, hey, fans, I know we lost our guy. Look, we made a splash. We're going to bring in this rookie who is going to be touted, and we're so excited for him.
Mm-hmm.
And that might go a long way with a fan base that is begging for you guys to do something.
Indeed.
But yeah, the only other pick, again, Jets at 16. And this one has them taking the other wide receiver, but between Tyson and Lemon. Here's your fun fact. The Jets did not have a player with more than 400 receiving yards last year.
That's crazy. I don't know whose fault that is. I mean, we can sit here and talk Justin Fields all day. The OC, is it the O-line, is it Fields, is it the whole shindig needs to be blown up? I don't know. But that's that's rough.
No, it's rough, and also like, okay, I'll give you this example because we talked about it before with the Knicks, but Knicks bring in Cat 2 years ago. Again, they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but you could tell things weren't great. Like the vibes were there during the playoffs, but we couldn't really make them gel at times. And we lose to Indiana. Whatever, it's fine. You fire the coach. Again, Knicks fans would have died for Tom Thibodeau. Like he had such that like that personality that fit the team, fit the city, and it was like, yeah, man, like we're the Knicks. Like you make the Eastern Conference Finals with a good team. It's not a bad season. It really wasn't. I didn't see a lot of Knicks fans bummed. I saw them bummed maybe with how we lost
Mm-hmm.
because those were some winnable games at the end. But I would have bit your hand off for that last year. But clearly, you could tell that uh, the ambition was there enough to say, hey, like, okay, we got to get rid of the coach. We need to find somebody that matches these players because now we have aspirations to want to go back to that or even advance further and make it to the championship. However, you look at bring a brand new coach in, no time to gel, jump straight into it, and the vibes. You're still a third pick, or you're still the 3 seed. Boston's still ahead of you. Was it a success? And I think that's how the Jets are going to be graded this year. Is okay, right off year one, fine. You now had a full off season. You're going to have a draft process. Bring in your guys. Is it going to be a success? And again, my prediction: no, we're going to win 4 games, but
You locking in your over under right now?
100%.
Under four and a
They'll
half.
win 4. They'll win 4 games next year. I don't even know which games are home and away. I haven't looked. I know we're winning 4. Maybe we'll still 1 from the Dolphins. All I've heard this year is that hey, they're aiming for next year. We have all these first round picks next year. There's all these quarterbacks that are entering the draft next year. It's going to be the most special class in however many decades. That's what they're looking for. And I get it because a lot of GMs would do that too. Just to say, I, I'm punting on this year in hopes of next year. But then you get stuck in this thing of that coach might not make it another year. This GM might not make it another year. So whose job are you saving?
Mm-hmm.
So take the guys you can. I think we have 2 firsts, 2 in another round, 2 in another round. Take all the talented guys. We've been awful since October. You had plenty of time to scout,
Yeah.
plenty of college tape to be able to watch, and we'll see. Are you planning on watching the draft?
Probably the first round, at least. I'll probably I mean I'll have it on all night, but once it gets around 2 and 3, I just keep up on ESPN.
I'm normally good for whoever the Jets take their first pick with. I'm normally like, all right, if it's like 2 picks before, all right, I'll turn it on. Let's see who's still available.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we pick, as soon as I see the name, I'm like, all right, I'm good. It's always cool, but like the amount of football in particular, the guys just don't even pan out. Like, why are you getting hyped for this guy? He's going to play 1 year in the league. I don't know. I'm such a cynical football fan sometimes with my team.
I mean, you do have a point. A lot of them. I think it's like 3 years or something.
Yeah, that's the average. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, good news: your Warriors are down 2
Heck yeah.
with free throws to potentially tie it.
Turn that on.
Yeah, they decided to show up after being down. I think it was like 11-2. But yeah, anything else you got before we get out of here?
I do not. I feel like next week. Maybe I can give you a little horse racing next week too. because it's
we're
getting
coming up.
it's
We're
getting
coming up
that
quick.
time. Let me see. It's the first Saturday in May. It should be May 2nd.
2 weeks, 3 weeks from now,
2 weeks.
or 2 weeks from this weekend.
2 weeks from this weekend, yeah. So we'll give you a little prelim, and then we'll dial it in for the week after. Just want to disclosure: I will not be held financially responsible for any decisions. These are just my opinions based on what horse races I've seen, which has been a decent amount this year. So
Everything is alleged.
exactly. These are just my favorites. It could be because their name sounded funny. Just
I did. Yeah. To me, I think it's the names. I do remember. Oh, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I do remember just like looking at those and being like, that one. Of
mm-hmm.
course, I was wrong. It didn't matter, but some of those cracked me up. Well, we'll get out of here. I'll let you enjoy your second half uninterrupted here. But I'm pulling for you guys.
Appreciate it.
To your point, you still
We
gotta
need
get
it.
through Phoenix.
Yep. Gotta get this and then get through the next one too. So
But we will. God. Okay, so next tip Saturday. So when we come back next week, we should have at least one, maybe two of the games from each series should be done.
nice.
So that, to your point, that'll give you some more information to decide on
Just
your
to kind
picks.
of dial some things in a little bit.
When the Knicks are 0-2 and they've lost by a combined 80 points, we'll
Be like,
talk.
okay, maybe
Maybe the
not that.
Hawks are winning the title. I don't
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Uh, but until next time, it's Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, everything. Like, subscribe.
TikTok, like
Leave us a comment. Pick who's your team, who's your sleeper. You know, maybe we'll do it for the next round. Who's your underdog? Who's the one underdog that you think has a chance of winning one of these rounds? Maybe not the whole thing. Like I said, my money's on Charlotte,
okay.
assuming that they even get in. But my money's on Charlotte. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. And also, let us know what your favorite NFL draft traditions are.
Okay, I like
Some
that.
people have some crazy ones. Some people throw the biggest draft parties.
I know. We'll have to get Baron in on that one. What's his favorite draft tradition?
There you go. Maybe maybe we'll just call him live and just like hold his phone up to the microphone.
Probably work.
I'm sure it would. But until then, we'll see you guys next
All
time.
right, take it easy.